So it was just an incredibly stressful year, as it has been for all of us in a lot of ways, but it's also one of the best years of my entire life by far. And I feel like, having lived in China and lived in Thailand and lived all through the United States, and gone through a lot of suffering and a lot of sort of things happening, has sort of set me up for that success in 2020, even though it was a difficult year. It's been very difficult, obviously, for everybody, right? But at the same time, it doesn't mean that you can't thrive in difficulty, but you've got to be set up for that, right? The willingness to not do fear because everybody else is doing fear, right? Or not follow the herd just because everybody else is following the herd. There's this expression in the stock market that, that like when there's blood in the streets and you notice that it's your blood as well, that's the time when you got to buy, right? When everybody else is panicking, most of the time, that's when it's an opportunity to buy. And there's no way you can do that if you're just running fear.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I live and teach is to, learn how to do less and less fear everywhere in your life. And that's just not easy, especially depending on how we're raised.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So anxiety is often this sort of projection, right? That some negative event will occur in the future. What if? So if you still have what if thinking, I have almost no what if thinking left, other than, mostly positive what if thinking. Sometimes when I'm overtired, the mind will do that what if thing, right? Because I've had a lot of trauma, so it's there, the what if, but I don't give what if thinking in a negative way any real energy, because all it does is lead to anxiety or fear or depression, right? So training yourself not to do what if this relationship I'm in doesn't work out, or what if he cheats on me, or what if I get cancer, or whatever it is. Instead, you live more and more present, more and more creative, more and more flexible, more and more adaptive, and then you're able to handle it. And at some point, we're all going to have to let go. I was just at my next door neighbor's, right? He's 87 years old, and he's going to have to let go, soon, right? Not just of his life, but his circumstances and so on. He's probably going to move, because he's 87 and living alone. Yeah. His wife of 60 years just died in February before, not of COVID, but she died. 60-year partnership. So every time I go over there, not every time, but every other time or something, he kind of opens up to me, and it's sad.
Yeah.
We're both sad because letting go is tough.
Yeah.
So these people around you that are sort of really stressful, it's hard when you have to live with them or whatever, but you can also have some perspective that they're not always going to be there. That might help too. Recognizing that, at some point they're not going to be with you.
Yeah. So
maybe we can sort of, address that. And then the communication piece, I think most really successful people are really good communicators. And I'm not saying successful financially, right? It's way beyond, because in our culture, we live in a culture that talks often about success being, it equals financial. And in my world, success is emotional, spiritual, mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, not just, right?